Hi, so in this video, I want to show you 3 ways that you can customize or edit the dashboard in Xero to hopefully make the information as useful and kind of logical to you as possible, because we all work in different ways. We all have information that's more important to us compared to other people. So let's look at how you can customize your Xero dashboard to get it to work in the best way possible for you. Okay, so every time you log into Xero, the dashboard is the first page that you land on. And it is really kind of a great level of detail already included on this page. There's just a few tweaks that you can make within Xero. And as I said, there's 3, and I'm going to take you through those. Okay, so the first and most obvious thing you can do is there is this nice big edit dashboard button here. If you can't see it at the top, in some cases, if you scroll all the way down to the bottom on the dashboard, there will be an edit dashboard, like a little link down here. Okay, Xero does move its location sometimes. So if we hit this edit dashboard button, you'll see that the boxes all kind of gray out, and you get the choice here. There's not a terrible amount of customization, but it's good to know what your options are. So you can click on any of these boxes, and if you untick the show box when you go out of edit mode, so you can see here bills you need to pay, I have unticked that, and when I say save changes, it now no longer appears on the dashboard. However, that is a very handy, one of the handier boxes that are on the dashboard, so I definitely want to include that. So I'm just going to put it back in. So what do I recommend that you do or don't include, if you're wondering? Well, obviously we're going to want all our bank accounts visible. But if, say, you've connected a bank account in the past and you maybe moved and you no longer use that bank account, or just not active, there's no transactions going through it, you don't want it cluttering up your dashboard. So I would recommend coming here, like let's say this business savings account was one that you set up but you're no longer using. I would recommend getting rid of any inactive bank accounts so that your dashboard isn't cluttered. Okay. Then expense claims. If you aren't doing expense claims, like it's not saying that you don't find that you're using personal money that you then need to be reimbursed by the business for, or you don't have any team members doing that, then I would recommend getting rid of that. Again, just having as little clutter on your dashboard as possible. Okay. What you can also do is where these little kind of 6 tiny dots are, this is going to allow you to drag and change the order of these different reports. So say bills to pay, that's more useful to you. You would prefer to be above invoices. You can, my screen's quite small on this computer, but there you can drag and you can see now bills to pay is higher up than invoices owed to you. The other one, cash in or out, you might like it up here above the accounts watch list. So we can drag this across to here and get it up at the top where you want it. Okay, so that's option number 1, to customize your dashboard. Let's just save that. The next thing I want to talk about is, I haven't got the best layout here, but we'll move on with the video. The next thing I want to talk about is the accounts watch list. Now this may, if you're not aware of what it is, may seem like a pretty useless little block that you might want to get rid of, but I recommend keeping it there. Why is that? Because you can select, you can see they've got 4 accounts. You might want more, you might want less, but it's going to give you a snapshot of exactly what has gone through certain accounts this month, and YTD stands for year to date. Now, why that is useful is it's particularly useful for what we would call control accounts in accounting. These are accounts where you have an in and an out because you want them to offset. I'm not going to go a lot into the detail on this in this video, but it's the type of things like if you are running payroll, we highly recommend using control accounts. And what you would do in that case, let's use payroll as an example, is you process payroll using whatever software. You might use Xero Payroll, or you might use another piece of software. And you then journal in the payroll. And when you do that, you will raise what we call wages payable. So you're increasing the liability, and you are saying, this is what needs to be paid. This is the take-home pay of the staff. So you increase the liability. And now let's say you need to pay your staff £5,000. You then go, as you've got this, wages payable would be a control account. So you have the £5,000. You then go at the end of the month and you actually pay to 2 or 3 staff members this £5,000. And when you reconcile bank, you're going to reconcile it to the wages payable. What should then happen is you've increased the wages payable liability with the payroll journal. And when you pay your staff through the bank, it decreases that liability and it should net off to zero. So the accounts watch list can be really handy to make sure so that you can quickly eyeball, hey, why has that not netted off to zero? Have I done something wrong? Okay. Another use for the accounts watch list can be if you are trying to track, you could have your revenue there to see actually, I have a certain revenue target for the year. How close am I doing? Or you can see they've got advertising and marketing. It's just for you to have a quick snapshot on how certain accounts are doing. So accounts, if we just want to break it down really simply, are just your different categories, how you categorize your income and expenses and your assets and your liabilities, etc. Okay, so you will, in Xero, we call it your chart of accounts. So if you're not familiar with chart of accounts and how to find that, I'm going to show you now, and I'm going to show you how you can edit what accounts appear on this accounts watch list. So what you need to do is under accounting, so you click this accounting menu at the top here, and you scroll all the way down, and you're going to open up the chart of accounts. So I already had it open here, but I'll just close that one. So you're going to open up your chart of accounts in Xero. So this is your list of all your different categories of income and expenses and your assets and liabilities. So you can see we're currently on the all accounts tab, but you can kind of drill down and specifically just see assets or liability, equity, expenses, or income. Okay. Now, the reason why I've brought you here, because if we are trying to look to customize our dashboard and we want to say, well, what accounts do I want showing here and how do I change what accounts are showing here? You come to the chart of accounts to achieve that. So this is the second bit of customization that you can do to your dashboard. So you're going to come from the accounting menu, go to chart of accounts, and on here you can see the full list of accounts. You can, of course, search. So say you say, oh, I really want to be able to track. I use the example of wages. I don't know if that's a standard account in Xero. I have direct wages. There's the wages payable. Okay. Say you want this to appear on your dashboard. You're going to open up the account and you can see show on dashboard watch list. And we hit save. So let me show you another example. Let me clear my search. So we're back on the all menu. Say I really want to track interest income. So if I open up the account by clicking on the text there you saw, you can see this account has a few other options, like do I want it to show an expense of claims? Do I want to enable payments to the account? And those all have really useful features and useful reasons for ticking them, but I'm just focusing on this box here, where if I click show on the dashboard watch list, when I then come back to my dashboard, and if I refresh, just waiting for that to load, you can see then that now we have the interest income that I added and the wages payable on this watch list. Now, obviously, we don't want this watch list to become a huge list because it's just going to be too much information to process. So I would say try keep it to like 3, max 5 accounts that you're looking at here, because if you're wanting any more detail than that, then you should be running a full profit and loss type report, profit and loss or balance sheet, to really see all the numbers. So try keep your accounts watch list to 3 to 5 items. So that was the second bit of customization. The third and final one I want to show you is just, and I would say this is probably the least, useful customization, but it's worth noting. So I just thought I would stick it on here at the end to show you in case you would like to see. So the final one, what you need to do is you need to again come to the accounting drop down and open up reports. If you click on reports, I've got the tab open here. Now, specifically, very specifically, if you scroll down a bit and under the financial performance section, if you come to business performance and we click into there, okay, specifically this report, what you can do is you can select any one of these. If any of these are of particular use to you, like say the current ratio, which is, see, I could spend a whole 5 minutes talking about each of these ratios and their use in their business. And I don't want to go down that rabbit hole in this video, but if you know, and I can cover it in other content that we do, but if you know what current ratio is and say it's really useful to you, then you can hit the star button and that will now appear, this graph will now appear on your dashboard so that it's saying you can regularly monitor. Now, the reason why I say this is the least useful of the dashboard customization options is because for the typical business owner, the ratios that Xero give you here as examples of what you can add to your dashboard are not really that logical or useful to most business owners, okay? Because they are very, like maybe gross profit is, I don't know, but it's just, I say I don't know, I do know. I've worked with hundreds of businesses over the years, and none of these would be particularly mind-blowing or useful to them in making decisions. But I think it is worthwhile noting that it's here because you may really find one of these ratios super useful to your particular business. There isn't much more customization that Xero gives you around those, but if you do find them useful, hit that star button. What will then happen is if we refresh the screen, that graph will now form part of our dashboard. Okay, so those little customizations that I've shown you will take you a few seconds to do. There's the business performance of the current ratio, right? And they're going to take you a few seconds to do and hopefully make your life a lot easier in helping you to improve the accuracy of your Xero and really get to the bottom of your numbers. Hopefully you found this video useful. Thank you.